Hey guys, how you doing? This is GuanYu007 coming at you with another Cemu video on the 1st of January. Happy New Year's, guys. If this video is anywhere by YouTube standards, probably put up probably on the 2nd because YouTube problems, then happy late New Year's to some of you guys. But if it actually comes out today, Happy New Year's. I hope everybody's having a great time, and I hope everybody is literally with their family or hungover with the woman they were with or man they were with last night. Protected sex. Anyway, so today, actually 12 o'clock last night, Eastern Standard Time, I went ahead and checked Cemu, and lo and behold, the new update was up. So I said, fuck it, let's go ahead and make this video on the 1st, on a Monday. Let's go ahead and kick this shit the fuck out so people can start playing Breath of the Wild and Monster Hunter on their favorite goddamn console. I mean, excuse me, their favorite platform. Let me just get a little ginger ale, and we can go ahead and get started. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to jump on the internet. Depends on what browser you use, Firefox, Mozilla, or wherever the hell you use. I use Chrome myself. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you the Cemu emulator page, and of course this is the public page. If you have Cemu as a Patreon page, then use that. If you don't, if you are just getting it for the public release, then here it is right here. Go down to the bottom, click on the latest version of Cemu. You can go ahead and take a look at the history of Cemu, the facts, the wikis, and whatnot, and you can even donate to them as well. And I would say go ahead and donate to them, because how fast this emulator has rose to prominence and the help of Breath of the Wild. By the way, thank you, Nintendo. It is literally one of the best emulators out, if not the best emulator out right now. Alright, so the next download you're going to need is you're going to need to come to Cemu Hook. Again, links will be down in the description. You can go ahead and download the current version right now. Now, of course, what they're doing down here in the older versions are they're just bringing up to speed some of the Cemu hooks, and of course you'll see some of them say don't use custom timers and CPUs or AMD any of whatnot. I would say go ahead and get this version first. If something is fishy with that version, go ahead and experiment with the ones that they're basically redoing for the new Cemu. This looks odd because they're basically added the multi-core compiler, which I'm happy about, and we will get to that in a minute. So the next download you're going to need is your new shader pack, your new shader packs, graphics packs. So link will be down in the description. You can go ahead and scroll and see what packs they have right here. But if you need to, you can just go ahead and get the latest version. Just hit this button that says downloads. Now, I know I didn't say this in one of my last videos for Breath of the Wild, but if you need an older shader pack for any reason, you can always just go to see past releases. Now you need your shader cache. Now, of course, I use the European version of Breath of the Wild, Europe's version, of course, so I'm just going to use this shader cache. However, if you need to change the number or the what your shader cache you need, say if you're using the American version or the Japanese version, you can just go into the log settings of Cemu, which you'll see a little bit later, and just change this shader cache to that number. Keep the bin, because the bin is very important. If you're already into emulations, you know the bin is already important. If you've done emulation for the PS2, obviously. But make sure to keep this bin, but just change these numbers. That's all you need to do. Alright, now for the very final thing you will need the Wii U USB helper. Now, I know I never really gave love to the Wii U USB helper, and the reason why is because I didn't like it. However, it is easy, it's fast, and you'll be able to go through your settings or your downloads a lot faster versus the way Mapleseed is structured. That and Mapleseed is having some issues, and I haven't heard anything about them fixing some of those issues. So right now, I'm going to use Wii U USB Helper until Mapleseed fixes their shit, and then after that, I'll make another tutorial on Mapleseed. However, my tutorial on Mapleseed beforehand still stands. And of course, a lot of people ask me, where do I get my keys from? You easily just Google Wii U USB or Wii U keys, and basically you'll find a site to go ahead and put the keys in. However, I won't tell you the site. I just will tell you to Google this word right here, and you can go ahead and get the site all you want. Alright, now I think we have everything we need, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this photo right here that says Cemu video now, and I'm going to extract everything out of that because that is all of the downloads I just used except for the Wii U USB helper. Then I'm going to take my old Cemu. I'm going to open that folder, and I'm going to take the new Cemu, which is still zipped up, and we are going to extract here like Bob Ross. Just extract that little bitch right here. Yes. Just extract it. Now it should have probably extracted in the place that you took your other photo out or wherever space you had. So just go ahead and bring that out. Stick it right next to your Cemu folder that you have right here. Open that up. And here is your new fresh Cemu. Now, after you're done with that, very important, take your Cemu hook. Put it into the folder, extract your hook, extract it right in the area. Now take out your Cemu hook, place it next to your Cemu. Now these are important just in case you fuck up with something or anything happens. So what you want to do after that, select both the Cemu and Cemu hook and put them in any folder you want. I'm just going to put these back into Cemu now, or Cemu video now. Alright. Now that we're done with that, and everything that has to do with, say, Cemu or whatnot, what you are going to want to do, if you're a new user, if you're not, don't worry about it. If you are a new user, click on your Cemu, and you should see something that says download now. Very important. Go ahead and hit these. These are your fonts that you're going to need. Just go ahead and download them. You should also see that your Cemu hook has been applied. And then you should also see the website of the Cemu hook. If you do not see these, you have not applied Cemu correct or the Cemu hook correctly. Redo that step. Now that we're done with this, I'm just going to check my other Cemu. And it seems that the Cemu hooks have been processed for the right Cemus. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to try to get through this as fast as possible. However, the changeover is going to take some time. So, first thing you want to do, if you are a new user, go ahead and take your graphics packs, open up the graphics pack folder in your new Cemu. Place that inside like so, and extract. Should take some time. Just say yes to all. Once you're done with that, find the graphics pack zip folder, which should be all the way down at the bottom. Let's just go all the way down to the bottom. Here we go. Now take that out and place that into an empty folder that you'll hold for the rest of your area, just in case you ever need to get back to it. Alright, then you have simple patches, you have extra packs or whatnot. You probably don't need any of those packs. Depending on what game you're using, you probably don't need any of these things here. So what I'm going to do is I want to simplify this whole thing, which means I'm going to delete a whole mess of these things. So I'm going to keep Breath of the Wild. I'm going to stop at bin 10 and delete. Now we're going to go back to Breath of the Wild. And I'm going to start at Brunswick. Never heard of it, but that's fine. And start going down. Yep. Just go down. Just go down. Da da da. Hyrule Warriors. I actually probably will want to see that later. I've been thinking about that. I might actually get that game. And delete. Especially it's ultra cheap on the Wii U right now, so might as well. Alright. So the next things we're going to delete. Let's see, Hyrule Warriors. Infinite Runner. Don't want to see that. Don't care about Kick. Don't care about Kirby. Kung Fu Panda. Lego. Mario Kart. Nope, don't care about that. Don't care about Mario Sonic. Don't care about tennis. Monster Hunter, I will keep that. I will delete the rest of those. And you can follow along and delete as many of the other game packs if you want. This is just a small segue, so let's just go ahead and continue. Nintendo Land, nope. One Piece, nope. Pikmin, nope. Poke Tournament, no and no. Is that like Tekken, only with Pokemon? I mean, it sounds good, but I don't think I want to do that. Okay, when do I get to the next one? Twilight Princess. That's where I want to stop at with this, because I have Twilight Princess. So let's go ahead and delete. Alright, and Warrior Orochi, fuck no. Nope. No. Wind Waker. Nope. Wind Waker I do have. I do have Wind Waker. Where's the end of it? There it is. Wipeout. Wonderful 101. I heard that was a good game, but nope. Xenoblade. I heard that was a good game, but no. Alright, let's go ahead and delete that. And now I just trimmed the fat out of all of my graphics packs. So let's go ahead and back out from there. Now, most important part, shader cache. So what you want to do is you want to go to your shader cache, and right here you will see that there's an info right here, and it tells you if you plan to transfer the shader cache to a different PC or a Cemu installation, you only need to copy the transferable to the data. However, what we have right now is an actual fresh shader cache. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in here like so, and you should be fine for the rest of the game. Again, if you're using the European version, that's what you're using. This is the shader cache number. However, if you're not, and we'll be able to show you a little bit later how to figure out what version you're using. Alright, so this is the small setup that you would have, and everything should be in line and working order. All you need to do now is open Wii or USB helper, download your games, make 3 folders, yada yada yada. But before we do that, we're gonna just do a little bit of modding. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Cemu. We're going to right click on that. We're going to click on properties. We're going to go to compatibility. We're going to go to run this as administrator. We're going to go to disable full screen optimizations. Trust me, you want to do that. And then override high DPI scaling behavior. Scaled by this application. Make sure it says this application. Apply the settings. Then click OK. Now let's go ahead and open Cemu. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply certain settings and see what has changed. Of course, this is the new version of Cemu, so what we want to do is optimize it to run with your hardware, and we also want to optimize it to run with whatever game you want to use. Now, I've heard on Reddit that some games run better than others with the new compiler. I'm not going to test that. I'm testing specifically Breath of the Wild. So what we want to do right now is we're going to go to options. We're going to go to console language, keep that as English. We're going to go to region. You can keep that as auto or whatever region you want to use. We're going to go to experimental. So what we're going to do is we're going to disable the Breath of the Wild crash workaround because you do not need that. We're going to disable the RDTCS runtime. We do not need that at all. And we can switch on to draw done if it looks like our AI is acting kind of finicky. But right now, I don't recommend doing it at all. Gamepads, I'm not going to click on this, but you can if you ever want to. Input settings, we'll get back to that a little bit later. Audio settings, depending on what type of channeling you have through your TV, monitor, or speakers, you can go ahead and select that channeling, and you can go ahead and select the volume you want. The emulator is kind of low, so I always select it around this audio setting. Separate screen is basically if you ever know what a Wii U pad looks like, please let me know if you don't. But the second screen is basically the screen that's in your handheld or the handheld mode that is part of the Wii U gamepad itself. Second screens are acting like touch screens. You can basically use your mouse for the touch screen itself and select certain things, such as if you're playing Monster Hunter Ultimate 3 Ultimate, you would just have your touch screen be the map, and you can have a clear screen as you're playing Monster Hunter. It's a beautiful thing. You should try it. All right, now for your GPU buffer cache, set that to low. Full screen scaling, keep that as ratio. Upscaling, set that to bilinear. Graphics packs, this is important. So we're doing Breath of the Wild, so this is very important. We're going to go ahead and get into this right now. So what I'm going to select is I am going to select the standard, which is 1080p resolution. Let's see, regular resolution shadows. Let's see. FPS++. And the crash workaround, the LWZX crash workaround. Very important you keep this on. You're going to need this definitely for this version. Everything else is extra. You don't really need anything else for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but if you do, play around with it. And that's it for the graphics packs right now. Enable VSync, do that at your own risk. Full screen optimization, do that at your own risk. All right, now we'll go to tools, memory search. Memory search acts as cheat engine. Basically, you can find the value of certain things and start making a custom cheat book for your game itself. Totally up to you, totally experimental. You don't actually have to do that. It's just something that is very nice that they added. Now, for the modes, This is new. So now you have single core interpreter, single core recompiler, dual core recompiler, and triple core recompiler. If you are using an AMD CPU, you want to use the triple core compiler. If you are using an Intel CPU, a majority of people usually do, and you have an i5 or i7, you definitely want to use a dual core compiler. I am going to select a dual core compiler because I have an i5. For your timer, you can go ahead and keep that as host based timer recommended. And for your Infinity, you want to keep all logical cores. NFC is basically scanning for amiibos. I do not use amiibos. Alright, so now we go to the debug menu, which is your loggings. You don't have to touch that. Your dumps, which is text shaders. Render upside down. That you don't want to do that unless you're just hardcore like that. Precompiled shader cache, just use it as default. Disable CPU extensions, you don't have to touch that. The millisecond timer, set that to 1 millisecond. The custom timer, set that to QPC. View audio debugger, you don't have to touch that. View RPL modules. That's new. I don't know anything about that. I will probably get into that in another video. And of course the help, where you can go ahead and take a look at the About Cemu. Alright. And I think that ends that for the small setup you have to do before a transfer of your games or any of the the data that you would need. So let's go ahead and head into input settings. Now input settings are pretty standard, except I actually didn't freaking turn on anything so I can have an input setting, because why not? So let's go ahead and turn on my controller. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and turn off my Bluetooth because my controller is plugged in to charge. So let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. Turn that off so it doesn't listen to those ports. Alright. Now sometimes people have problems with your ports and logins. Make sure to go to your log for whatever program you're using and make sure it's talking to those ports. Very important. If it's not talking to those ports but it's talking to the controller directly, that means it's talking to just a wireless controller. However, if you're using a spoofing program such as DS4, which is telling the PC that it looks like a Xbox 360 controller, but in reality it's not, then you will see that in the log itself. You just go ahead and reset your computer. Everything should be fine. Alright, we're going to go to shade base because shad base is the best. And we're going to go and don't pay attention to that. We're going to go and open up Cemu and do our input settings. So go to options, input settings. Alright. First thing you want to do is go ahead and type a name for your input settings. So let's go with BWCon. That looks like a good name. We're going to go ahead and just go with that good name right there. It's a real honest, awesome name right there. We're going to go with controller API. We're going to go with direct input. We're going to go to emulated controller. Let's go to Wii U gamepad. Then we're going to hit controller and we're going to see our options down here. Now certain options might be different, but if you're using a PS3, PS4 controller and you're using DS4 Windows, you would see this. If you see wireless controller, that means that the logical port is not reading it as a DS4. It's not reading, excuse me, that means that the logical port going from DS4 is not reading as an Xbox 360 controller, but is reading it as a wireless controller. Be very careful with that, because if you set up your controller with the wireless controller, and if you ever turn on your DS4 Windows after resetting, it will fuck up your controls. I've had this happen to me because I've been trying to recreate the problems that certain people have asked me, and I found out that it's the logical ports that are not actually reading correctly. So this is what you should see. Now, all we have to do is look at our Wii U controller and tap the corresponding buttons from the PlayStation 4 controller, PlayStation 3 controller, for the buttons here. Follow along. Circle is A, X or cross is B, triangle is X, square is Y. L1 is L, R1 is R, ZL is L2, ZR is R2, plus is option or start, minus is share or select. Now in this section, this is the actual analog sticks. So L click is just your L3 buttons. If you have a stick, you know what that means, so just click it in once. And L up is press up, L down is press down, L left is left, L right is right. Now do the same thing for your right stick. Click, up, down, left, right, and now you're at your D-pad. So now keep your D-pad as D-pad up, down, left, right. Do not touch mic below, you do not need it. Do not touch show screen. Your mouse already does your show screen for you. After this is done, you can go ahead and set your dead zones accordingly. I do not set my dead zones. I don't have a reason to. I'm very familiar with how my controller works. If everything looks correct to you, save. And then you can test out if you've saved it properly by going to controller 2, hitting the drop down menu, whatever the name you put out for your controller, press load, and it should copy it directly from what you just did. Congratulations, Cemu is firmly set up now, and all you need to do is find a game, start it, and you should be fine. Now, the next step is sort of an important step. Open up your Wii U USB helper if you haven't already detached it. Now, in the beginning, if you're extracting your Wii U, or the Wii U launcher, that's what you downloaded. If you're launching your Wii U, you're going to be prompted to ask, what is your download folder? For that, you need to go ahead and make a folder for your downloads. You need to make a folder for your game extracts, which is this one right here. And you need to make a folder for the hub of the Wii U USB helper itself. So these are the 3 folders you will need. Make sure you have these folders labeled so you can come back to them and assign these folders later on down the line. What you will need to do is, once you have these 3 folders done, open up your Wii U USB helper launcher. Set your Wii U USB helper folder accordingly. Set your download folder accordingly. The only folder that you won't be asked to set up will be your games extract. This is exactly where the games will be extracted to. I'm going to run it right now. After you name these folders, you'll see a loading bar, the same as what you just saw beforehand. If you already donated, you're still going to see this regardless. So just go ahead and click maybe later. $1 or so isn't a problem. You should go ahead and take a look and see what's new. And I guess they're showing me what these new titles are, and I have no freaking I have No desire to see them at all. In fact, no, I do not care. I do not care about this. Can I just go to the... Well, I love that, even though I don't want to do anything for the queue itself. There we go. Alright, just took that off and basically unqueued it. So now you should see a page like this. Let me go ahead and maximize. You should see a page just like this. Make sure you take a look and set your page up correctly. Now, as I said before, you have a download and you have your actual Wii USB helper. Next thing you should do is set up your extraction directory. And from your extraction directory, you're going to go to your folder, which you're going to find, of course, that should say Games EX, which is your extraction. Very important because you will need to use this to break off the downloaded games from their encrypted downloads itself. Once you do that, find the folder, select folder. If you need to find your games for downloads, basically if you put in the website correctly, all you have to do is type in whatever game you want. So let's say Zelda. And then we have multiple Zeldas you can go ahead and take a look, browse through, of course, as long as you have the keys correctly. And after that, well, we'll try to find ours, which is Legend of Zelda. So what you want to do from that, from Breath of the Wild, is right click it, and you can go ahead and start putting things in the queue to download if need be. I will not do that. I do not need to do that. If you want to see a further, more in depth, I'll go ahead and link the last video I did for this. Aside from that, you can always add your DLCs, you can always add your updates, and you can always add the game if need be. It's a simple process, and if you forget to unpack your load line, make sure to unpack it as such. However, I'm not going to do that for this video. I'm just showing you what the Wii U helper looks like so you guys can do it for yourself. What I am going to do, for all those who have Cemu, is I am going to transfer all of my data from one Cemu to the next. So I am going to transfer my shader cache, profiles, controllers, everything. In fact, do I need I'm not going to transfer my shader pack. I am going to transfer my controller. I definitely need that. Most definitely going to do that. Skip your game profile. Skip your shader packs because your graphics pack should be up to date for the new Cemu. Let's see. Make sure to take your HFIOM LC1, your memory search, your LC1, your shader cache, your shared fonts. The reason why you're taking all of these is because this not only do these hold some of your mods, your cheat engine itself, but you're also taking the shader cache that you've already built. You're taking your updates, and you're taking your DLC and your shared fonts that you already have. Switch it over to the new Cemu, and this is going to take some time. So let's paste everything over. And once this is done, we will go ahead and jump into Cemu and see how it plays. And I am very much so looking forward to see if I can get above 60 frames per second with just the i5. However, this is, sorry about that. However, I had to go ahead and take a drink. But hopefully this is something that we can all take a look at and go, well, this is the end of the bug tweaks for Cemu. However, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that we're going to keep bug tweaking this to be more optimized for the games that are coming out. After all, the Wii U right now is a dead system. It has stopped production. It has stopped the production of a lot of games. So, officially, if anybody wants to keep the Wii U alive, more than likely they'll have to come to Cemu, and more than likely they'll have to take a look at a lot of videos from me, BSOD, Complaining Gamer, tutorials, shaders, some new and extra things such as shader packs, such as what the Complaining Gamer has used. By the way, I have used his shader pack, and let's just say I'm going to try and use it this time for this version of Cemu, because for some odd reason, and I don't know why, it started tanking my performance down in the 19s. Now, I don't usually have tank performance in the 19s in open fields, but yeah, I'm not sure if it was his shader pack or combinations of different other things. However, when I pushed my system to 1440p, I didn't really see that big of an issue, but it was amazingly super dark. So there's that. But I will definitely take a look at that. In fact, after I get done downloading that, I think I'm going to move the shader pack from Cemu 1.11.2 over to 1.11.3 and take a look at that later on my own time. And Dave Chappelle has a new special on Netflix, and I am definitely going to take a look at that. Oh, that is amazing. Go ahead and click off that and wait for this download to complete. I did not know I had so much to go ahead and download. 40,000 so goddamn. But then again, that is a test of time, or a testimony for how in a short time, I think it's been close to 2 years now. Cemu's been out for close to 2 years, and I've never seen an emulator rise to prominence this fast. Now, there's been emulators in the past that have rode the wave of other games, but thanks to the Breath of the Wild itself, Cemu has been able to fix a lot of its own bugs out, and I believe it's because it's one of the last games in the series that is given to the Wii U that actually stresses the Wii U to close to a maximum speed and power out of the little APU it has. And as a console, I didn't hate the Wii U. I actually liked the Wii U. The Wii U was an actually good console. But if Nintendo would have fucking marketed it right, which I hate the fact that they didn't, it should have got more mainstream appeal. Instead, they wanted to fucking focus on the 3DS more. And I don't know. Alright, now that we're downloaded that, let me go ahead and grab that Complaining Gamer. Where is it at? There it is. Comparing error clarity. Grab that. Let me stick that in the graphics packs on this side. Click off that. Excuse me. All right. And let's see. Let's see if my options have changed. It should have changed. Nope, it didn't change. So let's go ahead and put that by slot. Let's go ahead and take a look at my input settings. They look fine. Usually also always double check your things to make sure they're working. All right, let's go ahead and load up the game. See what happens. Takes so long. And gauge it from their artwork. Yeah. Plus, you might is just blowing it. I think this is back. And I'm still at 98%. Oh, happens. Let's see if this motherfucker just conks out because Cemu can do that. Oh, doesn't look like it's conking out, so let's go ahead and turn this up. Alright, this is on. That's on. Let's go to continue. Actually, let's check the tools. CPU. Oh! Hold on. Nope, it is. It's on dual core compiler. Alright, well, let's see what happens. Let's see if there's any change on my system. This is my replay of it. So let's see what happens. Let me just move this cursor over here. Also, if you're looking at the green numbers on the side, that's because of my NVIDIA experience, the GeForce experience itself. So, let's see what happens. Ooh. It's a little rough going. Also gotta take in consideration this is probably going to be one of the worst times to be here because massive rain. So the rain is also affecting it because it's continuous rain in the Zora area. But I'm just gonna keep going anyway to see what happens. Huh. Huh. Well. So this would be hitching. So if I'm looking at this right, it seems to be hitching, and the hitching itself. Let me take a look at these. I just want to make sure. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at. Whoa! Are we serious? Well, that's odd. I mean, it's really odd that my freaking CPU seems to be almost topping out. I mean, even with the other systems running, such as OBS, which is only doing 5%, Cemu is running at 86%, almost topping out my CPU at 90%. That would make more sense than what the fuck I'm seeing. So let me go ahead and put the experimental draw done. Let's see what happens at that point. I should see either a boost in my GPU, which I really should be seeing, which doesn't look like I am seeing. Huh. This right here is weird. My boost goes all the way up to 3.6. I'm guessing with the single core it would have been fine with 3.6. But now that I have the core count, CPU mode core count, which is dual core compiler, it's sticking around 3.3. Huh. Remember, I'm not really worried about that. That's fine. Disk space, GPU itself. I'm hardly using anything. Like, literally, I'm hardly using anything. Because I know I pushed this over close to over 100 beforehand. So, yeah. Huh. Now this might also because I'm recording, but even that 5% still wouldn't be rocking it as hard. Huh. Go ahead and turn that off. Know what? I have to do that, but I'm going to you know what I'm going to do? Let's do 2 tests. Let's test Hatino Village, because Hatino Village has one spot I know tanks frame rates like it's nobody's business. Now a lot of people will say, well, it's the inside of Hatino Village, but what I've found is if you look at the top of this, if you go to the top where the observation tower is and you look just right, all the geometry will fucking tank your system's frame rate. And I've seen this happen. So let's go ahead and take a look. And this happens on the Wii U sometimes, but it stays at 20 frames. But let's go ahead and take a look. Also, that visual glitch is back. Alright, let's see. And I just need to take a look at... That's the tower. And here's the village. I can say this, I'm happy it's above 30. It's just the hitching is fucking with me now. And it's like it's taking its time to... I'm not saying it's taking its time to render. Well, this is always a good part about actually fucking keeping your old Cemus just in case something like this happens, because this is unbelievable hitching. It's going up, but it's just hitching out of control. I would chalk it up saying I'm running other things in the background, but that really shouldn't be the issue. But with the dual core compiler, it looks like Cemu is just hungry as shit for fucking power. So let's go ahead and take a look. My house doesn't fucking eat fucking frames anymore. Oh, it just ate some right there. Alright, let's test the next set. Oh, we're gonna go to Great Plateau Tower. So inside the town, we're averaging what? Fucking 40, over 40 frames per second. Let's test outside the town. The only thing that's really fucking with me is the hitching. Because it just looks like it's just dropping frames. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, actually. I also don't like the visual glitch problem, but yeah, I can live with that. Well, I accidentally slipped the fuck off of that. And there we go, more hitching. The fuck was that? It's like another visual glitch. That's weird. Alright, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the option off of full sync. Let's break that. Whoa, what the fuck? Let's go start some shit. It's like I'm building my shader cache again, but I know I have one, so what the fuck is this? I swear, it feels like I'm building my fucking shader cache. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm building my shader cache. I really shouldn't be building my shader cache. So does that mean the compiler doesn't... Does that mean the shader cache has to be built up further? Huh. Let's see if I get hitching in here. That'll tell me. Because yeah, it looks like I'm building my fucking shitter cache. Yeah. You know, I was going to make this a short video, but no, something's not right. A shrine should never hitch. That means something's not right. This should always be solid 60, period. And when a shrine is hitching, something's just not exactly right. That means something's not right with the options. So let's take a look. I'm not doing experimental. The ZX tool itself. Oops. No, I'm not enabling VSync. I don't need to enable VSync. Let's turn this off. And we're about to head outside in a minute. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to drop out of this. We're going to restart this. Let's see if we can't fix this with the options we have. But it's always good to make sure you have everything from your past Cemu. Am I going to continue using my past Cemu? Actually, I might truck it and see what I can do with this Cemu itself. And see if there is a problem. I don't want it to be a problem. I'm going to switch it to actually the highest this time. I'm going to go with the highest part of the counter. I'm going to go with the RDTSC debug, or the timer itself. We're going to go with Infinity. Let's see, what is custom cores? It's running those as custom cores right now, so dual compress, fast and unstable, triple core compiler, single core compiler, which is fast. So we know the dual core is supposed to be for the 4-core compilers itself. So if I go to single core compiler, then I go to CPU and I go to the custom cores part, it looks like it's just using 4 cores. But if I go to mode for triple core compiler, what are you going to give me? See, that's let's go with dual core compiler. Infinity is all logical cores. Let's go to timer. Host based timer recommended. Cycle based timer. Let's go with cycle based timer. And let's go with use RDST. And let's go ahead and load up the game. I just want to see what's going to happen. I mean, the worst that can happen is explode on everyone and say, fuck it, right? It's like a lot of people are having issues with crashing and whatnot because it is an unstable framework. But then again, we still have the ability to just go back to the single core compiler regardless and continue playing the game where it was less hitching. Alright, let's go ahead. Take a look. And of course, with this graphics pack, yes, this is always turned on. Is that a hitch or is that just frame time problem? Shrine seems to be fine. Let's go ahead and exit the shrine and see what happens. The report was there are multiple crashes unless you use that preset. Well, that could also be because of hardware issues. So let's go ahead and take a look. $50. Just a shit ton of fucking rain. Wait a minute. What is my graphics pack set on? Okay. So I didn't take any of the old graphics packs, so this is just a little weird. Okay, so the settings I just applied gives me less stutter, which is good, because the stutter is just too fucking weird for me. Alright, let's go and fuck with them, see how the frame rate holds up. Oh. Not bad, really. Single fighting held up pretty good. Alright, let's go back to Hatino and see how much this frame rate is going to bite it after this. Okay, and looking out. Whoa! Fucked up. Damn it. Fucked up. Back up. literally should not really take that much time. I'm literally right there. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see what the fall is. 50, 45. Alright, buckaroos, I think I found a good setting. It's either that or the new fucking shitter cache has to take time to rebuild from the stuttering. It's one of the two. Never got close to 40 in Hateno. Raining, forget about it. It usually was 20. I'll probably delete that transferable as well. Okay. I think I've seen enough. We're going to go ahead and end it right there. So, the next thing you'll probably need to do after this, and I know this is going longer than whatever, but of course we want to go ahead